Hi everyone. Today I am going to tell you a very short story from Vikramaditya and Vetal. So let me begin the story. As usual, King Vikramaditya went near the Sami's tree and pulled the corpse and put it on his shoulder, then walked towards the cemetery. While coming, the Vetal said, "O King Vikramaditya, tell me a story so that we can get relief from the pain of this journey." But Vikramaditya kept silent. Then the Vetal said, "Well, if you are not going to say any story, then listen to me. I will tell you a story, and at the end I will ask you some questions. You have to answer me. Otherwise, your head will break into 1,000 pieces." Then he began his story. There was a merchant lived in Ujjaini. He had a son. His name was Gandharvasena. And Gandharvasena was very handsome. Even everybody looked at him for a moment whenever they saw him. And Gandharvasena used to ride or mount over on his horse and gave a round in the city. Once while he was riding his horse and came across the river bank, he saw that so many washermen were engaged doing their job, means cleaning the clothes. He then stopped there for a moment. Then he saw a beautiful girl. She was also washing the clothes. She was so beautiful that Gandharvasena couldn't move his eyes away from that girl. There was a temple near that river bank. Immediately Gandharvasena got down from the horse and sat on the outside of that temple. He just looked at the girl and didn't say anything. After a while, the washermen, they stopped their work and went back to their homes, and even the girl also went back to her home with her family members. Now, Gandharvasena was so much struck by the beauty of that girl, he couldn't think anything. I mean, he couldn't say anything, but he felt very sad when the girl went away. He then immediately went inside the temple and saw the idol, the goddess. Then he said, "Oh mother, if I will marry this girl, then within a month I will offer my head to you." Means I will sacrifice my head. Like this he said, and with a heavy heart he went back to his home. But there when he reached, he didn't talk to anyone, neither to his parents nor to anyone. He just locked himself inside his own room. He didn't come out to eat, neither he talked to anybody, and kept himself inside his room. His poor parents, they felt very much sorry for the condition of their son. They were very much worried, and at last they called a doctor, but the doctor also couldn't identify the reason of his illness. At last, his parents asked his close friend Devadatta to come. When Devadatta got this news, he came immediately and he talked to Gandharvasena about his sorrowful mind. Then Gandharvasan, when his friend convinced him that he would do something for him, Gandharvasan told him everything about particularly his newfound love. Now, Devadatta told him to keep patience and he would try his best to talk to the parents of that girl. Then he went to the washerman's house. There, when he asked, they said that that girl was Roopmati and she was a daughter of a washerman. At last, Devadatta talked to her parents and gave the proposal of Gandharvasan's marriage. They became very happy because Gandharvasan's position was much higher than this washerman. So they said that they have no objection to give the marriage of their daughter. And Devadatta came to Gandharvasan and told him everything. Now, at last, Gandharvasan married to Roopmati. A month passed very happily. Suddenly, one day, Gandharvasan remembered the place he had done before goddess. So, without telling anything, he just went to the temple. But when he went, Devadatta and Roopmati, they both also accompanied with him. But Gandharvasan never told any one of them about his oath, about his pledge. They came to the temple. Then Gandharvasan asked them to wait outside of the temple and he went inside. After entering the temple, Gandharvasan looked at the idol, means the goddess, then said, "Oh mother, forgive me, it was already 1 month, but since I took the oath that I would offer my head, now that I am going to fulfill." So he took his sword and cut off his head. When hours together passed, but Gandharvasan didn't come out from the temple, Devadatta was worried, and even Roopmati also. Then Devadatta asked Roopmati to stay outside and he himself went inside the temple. When he entered, he was stunned looking at his friend lying on the ground. He couldn't find out the reason why Gandharvasan had done this thing. But suddenly he thought, if he alone would go out of the temple, then everybody will think that to marry Roopmati, he has done this miserable thing to Gandharvasan. So that is why he also took his sword and cut off his head. When again sometimes passed and none of them came out from the temple, Roopmati entered into the temple. She saw that both Devadatta and her husband were lying on the ground and their heads were cut off. Then she thought, "Oh mother, oh goddess, please help me. I don't know why they did this work. However, please give this as my husband in my next life also." And she prayed and she cried. Then goddess Durga was satisfied. She was very much pleased. She said, "Oh girl, ask me a boon." Then Roopmati said, "Oh mother, then give them lives." Then the goddess said, well, you join both the heads on their body so that I will grant them life. Roopmati did what goddess asked her to do, but out of excitement, Roopmati joined the head of Devadatta on the body of Gandharvasena and Gandharvasena's head on the body of Devadatta. So there the Vetal stopped. He said, now the girl once again asked, when she noticed that she has done the blunder, the goddess said that the heads cannot be exchanged anymore. So now the Vetal asked, O Vikram, tell me, to whom Roopmati should accept as her husband, whether the head of Gandharvasena and body of Devadatta, or the head of Devadatta and body of Gandharvasena? Who should be her husband? Then Vikramaditya said, the girl means Roopmati should accept the head of Gandharvasena on the body of Devadatta. Then Vetal immediately asked, why? Why do you think so? Now then Vikramaditya said, look, head is the main part of the body, the identity of a person. So since she had joined the head of Gandharvasena on the body of Devadatta, she should accept Gandharvasena's head as her husband. Then since Vikramaditya spoke, immediately the Vetal flew away. Anyways, this much is the story. Once again I will tell you another story some other day. Thank you.